You know, we all have this fundamental operating system that's running our lives, and a lot of the time, it's doing it without our permission. It's called the self-identity loop. And today, we're going to show you exactly how to get in there and rewrite the code. The reason you feel stuck trying to change isn't that you lack discipline. It's that you're fighting the most powerful force in human psychology. And that force, it's your brain's deep, primal need to stay consistent with the person you believe you are. We've all been sold this myth, right? That change is this brutal, uphill battle of willpower, a constant struggle against our worst impulses. But what if I told you that's completely backward? Lasting change isn't about struggling against yourself. It's about making your desired behavior a simple, direct expression of your identity. The goal isn't to force new actions. It's to upgrade your internal beliefs so the right actions become the most natural, automatic choice. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out the real reason you're stuck. Then, we'll look at the war happening inside your mind. After that, I'll introduce you to the self-identity loop itself and the science that makes it tick. We'll wrap up with a super practical 3-step protocol you can use today, and the one big idea you need to walk away with, that your identity is your destiny. Okay, let's dive into part 1, the real reason you're stuck. And honestly, the subtitle says it all. It's not about willpower, it's about your self-image. Think about how we're taught to set goals. It's always about the outcome, right? Lose 20 pounds, write a novel. But focusing only on the outcome is, well, it's just flawed. It's like trying to change the apples on a tree without ever looking at the roots. The real work, the stuff that actually lasts, starts way deeper. It starts with what you believe about yourself. And this right here, this is the key idea for our whole discussion. Lasting change is an output. It's a result of your internal belief. You know, your behavior is really just a lagging measure of your identity. I mean, think about it for a second. Someone who truly sees themselves as a healthy person doesn't have to force themselves to eat a salad. It's just what they do. A reader picks up a book without thinking about it. Their actions just flow effortlessly from who they believe they are. See, your behavior is always trying to line up with your self-image. So the big takeaway, if you really want to change your behavior for good, you've got to stop focusing on the behavior itself. You need to start upgrading the identity that's running the show. All right, on to section 2, the war inside your mind. You know that feeling, right? That feeling of self-sabotage, where you make this perfect plan on Sunday night, and by Tuesday morning, it's totally out the window. That's not a character flaw. It's not you being weak. It's a real, documented psychological thing. And we're going to give this invisible force of resistance a name. Because once you can name it, you can start to deal with it. And that name is cognitive dissonance. Basically, it's the mental stress, that uncomfortable feeling you get when your actions don't match your beliefs. This, right here, this is the true enemy of making any new habit stick. See, your brain is a consistency machine. It absolutely craves alignment. So when there's a mismatch between who you think you are and what you're actually doing, this internal alarm bell starts blaring, and your brain will do pretty much anything to shut it off. The easiest way to do that? Just go back to the old behavior that matches your old identity. That's why pure willpower feels like you're swimming upstream against a powerful current. Eventually, you're just gonna get tired. And this just makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? Look at this. Your belief says, I want to be a writer, but your action is, I just watch TV instead. Or, I am a healthy person, but then I ate junk food. That gap, that's the jolt of cognitive dissonance we're talking about. Your brain is literally screaming, wait a minute, this isn't who I am. And that discomfort is exactly what makes being consistent feel so impossible. It really is an internal war. And up until now, your old self-image has been winning that war by default every single time.
So, what's the fix? How do we actually stop fighting ourselves and get out of this trap? Well, that brings us to section 3, the self-identity loop. And listen, this isn't some motivational platitude or a cheap willpower hack. This is a system. It's a solution designed to work with your brain's natural tendencies, not against them, to create change that's automatic and, most importantly, that actually lasts.
And here it is. It looks simple, but trust me, this is incredibly powerful. 3 steps. Step 1, define the identity. You have to consciously decide who you want to become. Step 2, cast a daily vote for that person. You do this with a small, real-world action. And step 3, accumulate the proof. Every time you cast a vote, it's like adding a piece of evidence to the file. And this creates this amazing self-reinforcing cycle. The more proof you gather, the stronger that new identity gets. And the stronger the identity, the easier it becomes to cast the next vote. It's all about building unstoppable momentum. This idea of casting a vote, this is the absolute core of the whole system. You have to start seeing your actions differently. They're not just things you do. They are inputs, they're evidence. Every tiny little action, writing just one sentence, doing 5 squats, meditating for literally 1 minute. Each one is a vote for the person you want to become. It's immediate, undeniable proof that you send straight to your own brain, basically saying, see, this is who I am now. You don't have to wait until you've lost all the weight or finished the book. The vote itself is the win. It's the proof.
Okay, let's move on to section 4, hacking your brain's OS. So we know what the loop is. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of why it works so damn well. This is all grounded in real behavioral science. And when you understand the mechanics behind it, your belief in this whole process is going to skyrocket. So the magic of the loop really comes down to these 3 things. First, it completely resolves that cognitive dissonance we talked about. It turns that internal friction into flow. Second, it taps into a part of your brain called the basal ganglia, that's your habit formation headquarters, and makes new behaviors automatic. And third, it fires up your intrinsic motivation, that drive that comes from inside you. The action itself starts to feel good simply because it lines up with who you're becoming. Let's break those down a little more. So first up, resolving that dissonance. Your brain is always looking for the path of least resistance. So when you define your new identity, let's say it's I am an athlete, and then you immediately cast a small vote, like doing 5 squats. You create this perfect little moment of alignment. Your brain goes, aha, my actions are lining up with my beliefs. And that feels good. It feels right. Suddenly, you're not fighting your old self anymore. You're making the new, positive habit the easiest, most comfortable path for your brain to follow. You're not swimming against the current anymore. You've literally turned the entire river around to flow with you. And this is where things get really cool. This is where the magic of making things automatic happens. I want you to meet your basal ganglia. Think of it as your brain's autopilot. Every single time you cast one of those votes, you're sending a little signal to this part of your brain. And as you rack up the proof, as those votes pile up day after day, the basal ganglia starts to hardwire that behavior. It literally rewires the neural pathway. It takes the action out of your conscious, effort-filled brain and turns it into an unconscious, effortless reflex. This is how you completely bypass the need for willpower. The habit just becomes who you are.
Okay, so that's the science. Awesome, right? But now for the really important part, how you actually do this. Let's get into section 5, your 3-step reprogramming protocol. This is the exact playbook to put this system into action, like today, the moment this is over. And listen, these 3 steps are non-negotiable. You gotta do them. First, you're going to write down your aspirational identity statement. Get it out of your head and onto a piece of paper. Second, you're going to design what I call a low-friction daily vote. That's the tiny, super specific action you're going to take. And third, you're going to track the evidence, not the outcome. And that shift in focus from the distant finish line to just showing up at the starting line each day, that is absolutely critical. Okay, step 1, the identity statement. This is about defining your target. It needs to be simple, clear, and this is the most important part. It has to be in the present tense. So not, I want to be an athlete, not I will be an athlete. It's I am an athlete. You're stating it as a current fact. You're giving your brain a clear North Star to navigate by. It could be I am a writer, or I am a focused person, or I am a patient parent. Get really precise about the person you are becoming. Now, for step 2, designing that daily vote. And this example here is perfect. After I turn off my morning alarm, I will do 5 squats. This is just a masterpiece of habit design. Why does it work so well? First, it's tiny. It follows the 2-minute rule, which makes it so easy you basically can't say no. The point isn't a killer workout, it's just to show up. Second, it's super specific. You know exactly what to do. And third, it's anchored to a habit you already have, turning off your alarm. That's called habit stacking. You're attaching the new vote to something you already do on autopilot. It's brilliant because it removes all the friction and guesswork. And finally, step 3, the tracking mindset. Look, your job is not to obsess over losing 20 pounds or finishing the novel. Your job, your only job, is to focus all your energy on one thing, protecting the chain of evidence. So grab a calendar, and every single day you cast your vote, you put a big X on it. Your goal is just to not break the chain. And the golden rule here is simple: never miss twice. Hey, life's gonna happen. You might miss a day. It's okay. But missing one day is an accident. Missing 2 days in a row, that's the start of a new negative habit. So whatever you do, don't miss twice.
And that brings us to our final and maybe most important section. Identity is your destiny. We've gone through the psychology, the framework, the whole protocol. But if you walk away with only one single idea from our time together, please make it this one. This changes everything.
Here it is. Behavior change is a byproduct of identity change. I'm going to say that again. Behavior change is a byproduct of identity change. So just stop fighting your behavior. Stop trying to grind it out with willpower, because we know that's a losing game. Instead, put all of your energy into the root cause. Start using those small daily actions as strategic votes to literally rewrite your beliefs from the inside out. Because once you change who you believe you are, your behavior just follows along automatically. It has no other choice.
So let's just pull this all together real quick. Remember, the self-identity loop solves that huge problem of inconsistency and willpower failure. And why this matters so much is that it gives you a systematic way to make new habits automatic by tying them to your core beliefs. The framework is simple. You define your identity, you cast those daily votes, and you track the proof. And the science behind it is solid. This process resolves cognitive dissonance, and it literally strengthens and encodes habits in your basal ganglia.
And what this all really means is that productivity isn't about doing more. It's about mastering systems that make focus effortless.
So I'm gonna leave you with a direct challenge. Look at this question, but don't just think about it. I mean, right now, actually answer it. Define the identity. Design that first tiny 2-minute vote. Because the person you become down the road, well, that's just the sum of the votes you cast, starting today. So who will you vote to become tomorrow?